I did want to talk to Roy Williams, North Carolina head coach. Always good to have him on. Probably in his office right now. Probably got his chocolate there in his desk. Is that what's going on, Coach?
Not yet. I just finished my morning workout. So right now, just talking to you, and then I'm going to get in the shower, and then I will go see if I can find something for breakfast. And some people won't think it's very healthy, I'm sure.
Did you recruit LeBron James?
No. We knew who LeBron was. There's no question. I saw him play a few times at some of the major camps, but never called LeBron or sent him a letter. As far as I know now, some of my staff may have sent him a letter as a sophomore or something like that. But I thought it was pretty well decided what that young man was going to do, and he was pretty much a man amongst boys.
What about Kobe?
Did make a phone call to Kobe a couple of times, but never got any more serious than that because I thought that's what he was going to do also.
But you can tell, as a coach, you know that it's best for that kid or he's ready to go to the pros.
You know, Dan, what I've always said, there's no one rule that fits everybody. The two guys that you just talked about, Kobe and LeBron, I mean, how can anybody say they made a bad decision, But then there's a bunch of guys that make that decision that it is bad. So there's not one rule that fits everyone by any means. I don't think going to college for a year is bad. I think going to college for 2 years would probably even be better. But again, how can you say those guys made a mistake? If I had my magic wand, I'd probably go the baseball route and say you should go straight out of high school or go to college for 3 years. And I think most kids can benefit from college. I don't think I'd be going out on a limb and saying that, but there is not one rule that suits everybody.
But I've been saying that if you're good enough to come out of high school and go play, if you're a hockey player or tennis or golf or baseball, then I'm for that. I don't want to be holding you back so you can ply your trade. But I think if you commit to college and college commits to you, there should be some kind of relationship more than – and it's not even a one and done, Coach. I mean, this is really a half and done. I don't even know if these kids go to class the second half of the year. Why would you if you know you're going pro?
Well, it depends on who you are, Dan. And, I don't know what you would do. I think I know what I would do. But I've had 14 kids leave early for the NBA draft, and only one kid halfway blew off the second semester's classes. And I say halfway because he did go to class somewhat. He did pass more than half of his courses, but it wasn't a very sincere thing with him. But the other 13 kids, and I'm being very sincere, the other 13 kids went second semester, did a nice job, still were under our guidelines and the whole bit. So it depends on what you want. And it's I'm like you. I don't see anything wrong with Kobe and LeBron, but I can give you a bunch of names of guys that did that, and then all of a sudden they're out of the league 2 or 3 years down the road. So it's it's an NBA rule. I mean, it's more for their protection than anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, we at college we say, gosh, they should wish they would have more years because they'll make fewer mistakes. I think allowing kids to go right out of college, right out of high school, there were far more mistakes than there is now, even if it's just 1 year. And then again, I don't think it's wrong with being a kid a little bit longer instead of sitting in the locker room and trying to talk about how many points you got or shots you got or cars you have or anything like that. Go ahead and be a kid a little bit longer instead of getting out there in the business. And the NBA is a business, and it's there's something else. College is just a bus stop, and yet, man, are they good. It's watching the playoffs. You see some of the most incredible athletes and fantastic coaching and fantastic team play and the whole bit. But I don't think college is wrong for guys.
How tough is it, the projection of a kid coming from high school to his freshman year or somebody after their freshman year going to the NBA? If you were going to assess talent or project how they'll play, what do you think is tougher to do?
Well, in high school, you'll have a 6'10" guy who's playing against a lot of 6'3" guys. And so that's a tough projection, and the game gets much, faster, and everybody's stronger and quicker and everything. At the college to the NBA, at least they're competing against some other 6'10" guys, but it's a huge step up in athleticism as well. But I think the shock is more from high school to college than it is from college at the top level from college to the NBA.
He's Roy Williams, North Carolina head coach, joining us. Dan Patrick Show. Is tomorrow a good day for you in North Carolina basketball?
Oh, it is. I mean, you think about kids now, 14, 15, 16, some of them even earlier, years old, what are they thinking about? They're watching that draft tomorrow night. It's a dream for them. It's excitement. I'm going to be excited. I'm going up there tomorrow. We're going to have 4 guys drafted. I'm going to be extremely excited and nervous about where they're going to go, but I know it's good for them. That means it's good for our program. And, I wish I could snap my fingers and be in the room and snap my fingers and be back home instead of the travel, but it is a wonderful night, and you see kids, and I still call them kids if they've just played for me 1 or 2 years, but you can say young men if you'd like, but they're reaching one of their goals, one of their dreams. And so it's an exciting day for me, and I think it's an exciting day for the schools that have kids chosen tomorrow night.
I don't know if you allow yourself to look back. Had Kendall Marshall been healthy, finish that sentence.
I think we had a chance to play on the last Monday night. I think we were one of the best teams. And the other part is John Henson getting hurt in the ACC tournament never really was back more than 50 or 60% of what John was before, even though he came back, missed the ACC tournament, and he came back and played. And then losing Kendall, I mean, here's a guy who had 351 assists with a team that didn't shoot it very well.
I think he's great. I think he has a great feel, and I've said this during the year. I think he's going to be a starter at point guard.
I do too, and I tell you what. But you know, when I finish that statement, it doesn't make any difference. It's what it is, and we can use that as an excuse. And the way I say it, we won 32. We won the regular season ACC championship. We went to the Elite Eight. Great wins, 32, but it's an awfully sad inning, and I just let it go at that because it's part of the game.
Do you think you were better than Kentucky?
We played them at their place. They beat us by one. I would have liked another chance. I could say Anthony Davis made a great block on a shot by John Henson at the end of the game, which just showed how special Anthony Davis is. But John's team got a lot better, but I think we were better at the end of the year than we were at that time that we played them. So I'll stand on the fence and just say, God Almighty, I'd have loved to have a chance.
If I said you can have the one and done, now you've been fortunate you keep your guys a little bit longer than what Calipari does, but if I said one and done or a solid 3-year starter, a one and done who's an NBA guy or a 3-year starter?
Marvin Williams played for us 1 year, and we won a national championship, and I loved every second I had him. I would take Marvin Williams in a heartbeat. Brandon Wright only played 1 year. We got to the Final Four. No, we didn't. We lost in the Elite Eight. But Brandon did a great job here. So I think it depends on the kid. I've had some guys in 4 years, I wish they'd left after one. And of those guys that had played 4 years, they wish I'd left after one.
Did you ever tell a kid to go pro?
What I've done in every situation, I said, tell me what you want to do. And then I say, I'll support you. I've told one kid I thought it was a bad decision and that agreed with me and stayed. I've probably told 4 or 5 that I think it's time for you to move on, but I'll support your decision.
Who listened to you and stayed?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you, Dan.
That's all right. You can kill me. It'll be good for ratings. Just do it on the show.
It'd be good for your predecessor. He'd get a raise.
I thought Harrison Barnes, I see talent there, and you see this more than I do, obviously. I need that killer instinct there. I don't know if he was described as playing too nice. Is that a fair assessment of him?
I don't think so. You go back to his freshman year, he had 5 game-winning shots that he made. And, that's pretty much the killer instinct to me is to when you have a chance to determine the outcome of the game, and he made those at the end of his freshman year. This year it was strange because we didn't have that many opportunities, hardly any, in a close game for us to have the last shot to win the game. 2 that I can think of that something broke down and it didn't come to his hands. But, it's sort of trendy to critique Harrison Barnes. He came out and people picked him as first-team All-American before he ever played a game. He was sort of anointed as this greatest thing. And it's trendy to pick on the kid. He's pretty daggum good, and he's going to be a big-time pro player.
All right. In 10 years from now, when I talk to you, and I look back on this class and I say, can you believe who are we talking about?
Maybe Kendall Marshall.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, because a year ago, I would bet 5 out of the 30 teams in the NBA would say that he was going to be a number 1 draft choice. And right now, everybody, I don't care who you are, would love to have him on your team. Now, if you've got Derrick Rose and people like that already and you don't need him, but every one of those guys will say, gosh, he's really, really good.
He can play. He's got a feel for the game, Coach.
He really does. Best passer I've ever had. And if you put him in a running style, he's the best I've ever seen it, pitching the ball ahead and getting the ball down the court to the right guys.
Have fun tomorrow night, Coach. Always good to visit with you.
All right, Dan Boy. Good to listen to you as always.
Thank you. That's Roy Williams, North Carolina head coach. Did he call me Dan Boy?
Yeah, that was moments after dropping a dad gum.
Oh, Dad Gum and a Dan Boy.
Old school.
All right.